We are live. Hi, everyone. I am Deborah Seminara Aldrich with DCE Law, and you are joining us live for our Tough Lady Boss series that we're having this whole month. And I am so fortunate that I get to be here with Jena Rutherford. And Jena actually owns the stable that you can't see all of it behind us, and does riding lessons and has been in the equestrian industry for many years. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what it's like, because this is a very tough industry to be in. So from a female perspective, I mean, you are literally, anybody, any perspective, you're busting your butt from morning till evening, from dawn till dusk, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to let Jena tell you a little bit about her background, how she got started, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I've always had a passion for horses since I was a little girl, and I begged and pleaded my parents to buy me a horse. And so behind their back, I went with a neighbor to look at a horse, and then wanted her, and so came home and begged and pleaded to my parents to purchase her, and they did. And then I boarded at other boarding stables for many years. And my dad purchased this property and built my farm when I was about 15 years old. And he built a 6-stall farm at the time.
Wow.
And I had 2 horses, and I was here, and I got bored quickly being a child, so I asked if some friends could move in, and that's how the whole boarding part of my career started. Is I had some friends move in, and then eventually started a full-blown boarding facility with the 6 stalls, and then about 10 years later we built on a couple additional stalls, so now I have a total of 9
stalls.
Yes.
Now, does that include the outside stalls as well?
Yes.
The 9 stalls. Okay. See, she has a few. She has like what,
3 stalls that are done in the vinyl fencing, and
Okay.
then 6 regular stalls.
So
is what I currently
that's
have.
very interesting. So this kind of grew organically then. Is that right?
That is 100% correct. Yes, the boarding part of it did, along with the teaching aspect for children that I do, grew kind of organically as well.
And let's talk about that since you brought it up, the teaching aspect, because Jena also does lessons, but you focus on children, right?
Yes, I start children around age 3.5 or 4, and it actually started about 10, 11 years ago. A friend of mine contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in teaching her grandchild how to ride. And I told her I would love to, and there it began. I didn't even know I was starting a business, and it started on its own, and then different friends along the way contacted me, and I started teaching their children how to ride, and word of mouth got out, and I now have usually anywhere between 15 and 20 children in about a week's time, just depending on the week.
And I want to put this in perspective for all of you, because in addition to what Jena is doing with her farm, her stable here, and everything else that she does, because she's very involved, you have a full-time job too, separate and apart from this, right?
Yes, I work for a wonderful State Farm agency, and I do work full-time, so everything I do with the horses is before work, on my lunch break, after work, and on the weekends.
So let's talk about before work. What time do you have to rise in order to get out to the stable, get them fed, and all of that?
I'm usually up anywhere between 4:30 and 5 o'clock to start my day, because it takes several hours to get the horses fed, get them out, stalls cleaned, etc. in the morning before I start my workday with State Farm.
And if you all have seen the pictures that I posted, I wanted to post some of the pictures of what we call mucking a stall, right?
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, because mucking a stall means basically picking up the poop and pee and putting it in a wheelbarrow and wheeling it out of there.
Yes, cleaning water buckets, and this is something that has to be done on a daily basis,
Right.
because you want to try to eliminate the urine, the manure, the flies, and keep it as clean as possible for the horses. So whether you are feeling tired that day, ill, injured, no matter what, it has to be done. So it is a 7-day-a-week obligation, and of course it's a passion of mine, so
Yes.
it makes it doable on days that I don't even want to get up and do it. So it's been a passion of mine since I was a little girl, and it's great that I'm able to live and fulfill my passion with these horses and children.
And that's what I was going to say, right, it is a passion, so it doesn't feel like a job. And this is your home, so this
Yes.
is also part of your home.
Yes.
And so how many acres do you have out here about?
I have 2 acres here. The house sits on a ½ acre, and then the farm sits on 1.5 acres.
Okay, because it's very nice. You know, there's a ring, there's pastures, there's
Yes.
turnout areas, so yeah, very nice. So what has been your biggest challenge with running your own business and the type of business that you run?
Several things. Time constraints would be a big variable, because I do work so many hours and everything I do is very, very scheduled. So there's not a lot of free time or downtime. Even that has to be scheduled. Sleep has to be scheduled. And then I also run into the challenges of weather related, whether, if it's raining or very hot out. It's hot for the kids, hot for me, hot for the horses. Other challenges could be, if a horse got ill or injured, then you're unable to use that horse, or if a horse is colicking, then you have to attend to that, and that's something that could have you up all night, and that's something that could go on for days, and your undivided attention has to be focused on that animal during that time.
Right.
The other challenges could be if I was sick or injured or ill, that would cause me to have to cancel classes. But unfortunately, the things at the farm would still have to be done under any circumstances.
So do you find people pitch in?
Oh, absolutely.
When that happens?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The girls at the farm and students and their parents, all the above, love to put in a helping hand. And I cherish the girls at the farm. They've been there a very long time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all of them. They're my family.
Yeah, you really there's this friendship that develops as a result of this common interest and passion in horses. And I have to say, Jena's wonderful. I remember last year and she's always watching all of the horses. So if there's any little thing, she'll call, let you know. But when Lovebug had the fever last year, you're like, he's got a fever, I don't know what's going on. So we had to get the vet out and tend to that. But that's how attentive Jena is to everything that's going on with the horses and with her facility here.
Yes.
I also wanted to talk really quick because you give students lessons, children lessons, you focus on children.
Yes.
And then they get to a point, right, if they want to go and compete. You're not a competitive coach though, riding coach, is that correct?
No, I take more of a holistic approach when I start teaching children. I teach them everything you need to know about the basics. I teach them how to clean a stall. I teach them how to lead a horse. I teach them different parts of the horse, how to clean their feet, how to groom them, how to clip them. Sometimes when the farrier's here, they get an experience of watching the farrier trim the horse's feet. If the veterinarian is here, they get to experience that. They get to experience the passion, the love of a horse like I get to experience. I like to duplicate myself and have them understand what I get to experience from the beginning to the end. So if they were ever going to own their own horse or own their own farm, they know the blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. And then the reward is the fact that they get to ride. And I start them at a very young age, so a lot of them stay with me, for many years. And some of them move on to other types of activities. Some of them move on and want to pursue advanced riding careers or sports. And so I've had many, do that. And but it's so wonderful because even some of the kids I started 10 years ago always come back and visit me. They like to come back and go for possibly a quick ride, and they cherish what I have taught them, which is extremely rewarding. That's probably one of the biggest rewards I have with what I do.
That's so wonderful. And we actually have an equestrian park that's about a mile away, maybe a little less?
Yes, we have 2 equestrian parks riding distance from the farm that all the equestrians in the area have access to and can use, which is phenomenal for our small little area to have and for the city to provide for us.
Right, and I do want to say, so for those of you joining us who are in the Pinellas County area, so we have in Pinellas Park,
Yes.
people don't realize what a large equestrian community for such a small area there is here. And so you have the equestrian parks, we have a trail riding facility that is behind you,
Yes,
right?
they do guided trail rides,
Right.
and I know up on 94th Avenue, it's in the embryo stages of some type of 4-H facility that's opening for
Nice.
kids to experience, like taking care of all kinds of different farm animals
That's
and
wonderful.
such. So that's coming along as well.
That's wonderful. And also, don't you also do birthday parties?
I do.
Birthday
I do
parties?
birthday parties for kids. Yes, that's very much. That's a lot of fun. Yep, they set up. They usually do a lunch. We do the pony rides for the kids. So that is definitely a fun-filled day and event that I do. Yes.
That's awesome. So what would you say has been one of the most rewarding things about owning your own business, in particular this business? Because you've kind of gone through those when you talked about the kids coming back and
Yes.
and all of that.
I think just being able to enjoy a passion that I've had my whole entire life. People, like some of my family, can't understand why I want to do this and spend all day and be dirty and get up at these crazy
Right.
hours. And
Right.
even if I'm out late, still the next day I have to get up early and do
Right.
it again. But it all boils down to the passion of having the animals. The animals just do something to people, especially children, children with special needs.
Yes.
That really, really has such a positive effect. And I love seeing that. It fulfills me. I am not a parent of two-legged children. I am a four-legged children. So that fulfills a need for
Right.
that as well, which has always been wonderful. It's great when you go to the farm and the horses whinny to you. They're excited to
Yes.
see you. They act like what some would say like a dog, you know.
Right.
They have personalities, each of them. They understand your feelings. They're very in touch
Yes.
with your feelings. They're very
really
reactive to the way you feel. And that's just very, very rewarding all in itself.
That is. And if you've never been around a horse and you've never owned or ridden, rode, whatever we say, I'll tell you what, it is an amazing experience. I've had cats and dogs all of my life. But until I adopted my horse, it's a completely different level. And I have a child as well.
Right.
But there's a bond that you have between a horse that's so different because they are so intuitive
Yes.
to people and just everything that's going on around them.
And they're very large, so they
Yes.
do. A lot of people are afraid of horses because of
Yes.
their size. But once you're around them and get to know them, they're like teddy bears.
They are.
They have no intent on hurting you
No.
or anything. They just want to love you. They want to be good for you. They want
Yes.
to make you happy.
Yes.
So that's very rewarding.
And eat. So as long
Yes,
as
they
you
want
got all.
to eat. They want to eat all the time, constantly wanting to eat.
So what would you say to other women who want to start their own business? Because this is a tough business, and I've been focusing this month, and we have some other interviews with other tough lady bosses. And what would you say to them that they're thinking about starting their own business, but they're just not sure?
I've had several people approach me that want to jump into horse farm type thing, maybe not quite exactly what I do, but maybe similar industries. And I would recommend doing your research, doing your homework, spend time with somebody at a farm, whether it's my farm or somebody else's farm, shadow them, get your hands dirty, know
Yes.
what's in it, because like other industries, you're buying or starting a full-time 7-day-a-week
Right.
job. You
Right.
have to love it. It has to be your passion, or else you probably won't last.
Right, because honestly, this is such a labor-intensive
Intensive, yes.
industry. It's, and I know I'm coming here on a Saturday morning or whatever, and you're out there mucking
Yes.
the stalls. I know that you have a couple of part-time employees
Yes.
that help to offset things, but otherwise it's all on you.
Yes, correct.
So I would say, women to women, we all love supporting each other and supporting everybody's businesses.
Yes.
But if you are on the fence about anything, reach out to somebody who's in that industry. But like Gina said, if you're thinking about the equestrian industry, it's not all glamorous like you see in the movies.
No.
There's a lot of hard work, but it is so rewarding. But jump in. If there is a business you want to start, get in touch with people that might know how to help you get it started. And you can always reach out to me. And if equestrian-wise,
yes.
you can reach out to Jena. And Jena's, the name of Jena's stable is Trail and Stables.
Yes.
And it's just a little beautiful, tucked away little facility at the end of a street.
Dead end road, yes.
It's just wonderful. So thank you for joining
Thank you.
me. I loved it. And thank you, everyone. We will be back next Thursday with even more. Have a great weekend.